Bowhunt or Die is being brought to you by Matthews, Lost Camo, Lone Wolf Portable Tree Stands, Hunter Safety System, Heartland Wildlife Institute, New Archery Products, Tinks, Carbon Express, Stealth Cam, Moose Utility Division, Lacrosse Footwear, Scent Blocker, Pine Ridge Archery, and Can Cooker.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Bowhunter or Die. I'm Todd Graf. Alongside me as always is Justin Czar, and we've got a jam-packed episode. Justin, what are we starting this week off with?
Well, Todd, the first thing that we're going to start off with is addressing something that is a question we get asked a lot during the year by our friends, calling us or texting us, people we know emailing us, and especially a lot on the bowhunting.com forum.
Right.
And that basically is, I shot a deer, I didn't make the best shot, what do I do now? Really what we want to do is we want to try to address some of the common mistakes that we think people make when they shoot an animal that ultimately hurts their chances of recovery. So Todd, you've been bow hunting a long time, shot a lot of deer. What are your top 3 things you think people do wrong when they go to look for an animal?
Top 3 things. Well, number one, I think the top mistake that people make is they absolutely start looking for that animal too quickly. You know, when you shoot a deer, the number one thing I can recommend is absolutely give it time. You spend hundreds of hours in tree stands. You know what? You finally have that moment come in, give it time. Number 2, when you do get down and you start looking for that arrow, you know what? I know I've done this before. I know I made a decent shot. I get down, I start looking for my arrow, I start looking for blood, and I start not finding it. And a lot of times it's because you're so excited that you're just not seeing it. Sure enough, you back out, you come back in with friends, or after you've had a chance to calm down, and all of a sudden it's like the whole story unfolds right in front of your eyes. Number 3, always do the best job when you let that arrow fly to try to gain as much knowledge as you can. Where did you hit the deer? What did the deer do? What did he act like? And more importantly, keep track of that deer to where he went, because a lot of times what people will do is they'll do the right thing. They'll wait, but then they'll get out of the stand and they'll actually head that direction going out to their car to regroup, right. And then they end up bumping the deer, and that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely hit the nail on the head. The number one most common mistake we see people make is going after their animal too soon.
Definitely.
You know, my general rule of thumb is if I don't see that animal fall or I don't hear it crash, maybe just out of sight, if I'm 100% sure I made a good shot, wait it out, back out. If you shoot them at night, just give it overnight and come back the next morning. You know, nobody likes to track a deer at night. It's harder to do. A lot of times it pays for you to just leave that area, and like Todd said, make sure you don't walk the area that the deer ran to. You know, if you made a poor shot, you know, and that deer goes off, there's a good chance that it's going to bed down. If you bump it, your chances for recovery just went way, way down. So, you know, backing out, giving it time. The other thing that I think we should touch on maybe is watching the reaction of the animal.
Definitely.
You know, after you shoot it. You know, when you shoot a deer and it gives that big high leg kick and goes tearing out of there, generally, you know, you got, you know, a lung or a heart shot. But if you shoot one and they run 40 yards and they're kind of hunched up and walking pretty slow, that's the telltale sign that you need to wait. You know, it's usually a liver or a gut shot or something like that. Backing out is going to be your best bet.
Right, and you know, Justin, a couple things too. I mean, you introduced me to a new piece of software that I put on my phone, which I think is awesome. It's called Every Trail, and you know what? It's a great app. I don't know what I paid for it, $3.99 or something like that. But you know what? I downloaded it. It's sweet for being able to keep track of where you've been. So if you do get yourself in a position, and heaven forbid it comes down to a grid search, you're able to at least keep track of that. Even if your friend keeps track of it, with Google Earth, you're able to overlay those 2 tracks on top of each other, and maybe you just walked past them. One last and final thing that I've got, and we'll move on because we got a great episode here, is also just be quiet. You know, with cell phones nowadays, I know you watch the episodes and I know I'm horrible for this. You know, I'll shoot a deer and boom, you know, I'm calling Justin or I'm calling my dad and I'm kind of being a little loud. Generally, when I'm doing that, it's because I saw that deer fall over or heard him crash and pretty much know that that deer is dead. You know, I think the last and final thing is just don't be too loud. Be as sneaky leaving as you do when you usually come into your stand in case that deer isn't dead. There's no sense to alert them and bust them into the next county.
Yeah, so overall, I guess what we're urging is caution. You know, when after you shoot an animal, if it doesn't crash within sight, be cautious, give it time, do things right, and you're going to increase your opportunity for actually finding and recovering that animal. So, you know, with that said, Todd, we got a great hunt. To get things started off, we've got Josh Fletcher, opening weekend in Wisconsin bow season. He's up in a tree stand, so let's see how he does.
to the opening day to Wisconsin archery season. I'm Josh Fletcher with Bowhunting.com. Today is the first day of 2013 Wisconsin archery season. And I'm going to stand here in central Wisconsin. Literally right behind me there, that little bitty tree, that's a little apple tree. And what I'm set up on is this kind of a jack point bottleneck. And these deer are cutting right through this bottleneck. And when they're staging to head out to the main egg fields, which is kind of behind me here, where you hear that dog barking actually, there's a farm over there. And what they're doing is they're staging and hitting these apple trees before they get out to that egg field. I got the stealth cam on a tree down there on video mode. And I've been kind of just monitoring this here, seeing if there's any good bucks. But it's a nice cool day. Temperature right now is about 70 degrees. It's supposed to get down in the mid 40s tonight. Being the first day of the archery season, if a doe comes in, a nice lone doe, I'm going to light her up, do a little bit of grocery shopping. So this right behind me is what I call my grocery aisle. Stay tuned. You're watching Bowhunt or Die. Like I said, if a doe comes in, I'm going to take her. She come in and give me a 20-yard shot to the apple tree here. Opening day to Wisconsin bow season. Took the shot. I was concentrating so much on my pins I couldn't tell exactly where I got her hit if I hit her. Well, not if I hit her, I hit her. She barreled off. The shot looked good to me, but I always want to review that video and just make sure. She looped around. I thought I heard her crash right down due south of me right here, so I'm shaking like a leaf even on toes. Of course, first of the year, so as soon as you get that first opportunity, you guys gotta work them bugs out, get them nerves out now before the big bugs start coming in. The nice thing about filming your own hunts is that you're able to review your video footage, make sure you got the deer hit where you think you do, and shooting these launch pads, lighted Nox this year, definitely helps out with the video big time. I can go back slow motion and play it back down. And shot looks good right behind the shoulder. Might be just a hair high. I thought I heard her go down to the south, so I'm just giving her a little bit of time before I go and take up the track. Okay, took the track, probably went about 200 yards tops. And like I said, I heard her crash, and sometimes people have a hard time finding deer. And she took me into this tall CRP field, marsh grass, and I found her. She's dead laying right here. You can see her white belly right there. But I want to back up, and I want to show you this. This goes to show you that what they have a tendency to do when they do that, I call it a death dive. In other words, they're on their last leg, and when she was running, I could hear her basically huffing it, just kept making that noise as she's running. She was booking it that hard. And I've seen them do this before. When they get on that death run like that, they will try and shimmy in and under grass. Just to give you an idea. So if you ever hit a deer and you have a hard time finding it, you find blood and all of a sudden the blood disappears, start looking underneath grass. Here's a perfect example. What I want to do is show you on this doe the effectiveness of a quality broadhead. Not trying to be gross, but I want to show you what a good broadhead can do to a deer, especially on a quartering away angle, quartering away shot. Well, here we go. Got her out, definitely well after dark. I got her in front of some lights here so you get a better look at her. Got her out of the marsh. Nice, beautiful doe. This is exactly what I was looking for. Early season, put some meat in the freezer. Told myself that if a lone doe comes in, I'm gonna take her. It's nice, actually mature doe. She didn't go but 200 yards tops. I actually put a perfect shot on her, quartering away. Just drilled her right up in there. And opening day to Wisconsin bow season 2013. Now this is the way, folks. We kick off bow hunt or die.
You know, as a bow hunter, there's nothing better than watching that lighted knock fly through the air and bury into the side of that deer. You know, our entire team is shooting those brand new Carbon Express Launchpad knocks. They've been flying awesome for us, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more footage just like that in the upcoming episodes. You know, another thing to point out about this hunt is it just goes to show you how early season evening hunts over a food source can definitely pay off.
Wow, did that blood runner ever leave a mark? Josh has always been a fan of that broadhead, and I'll tell you what, it's a good thing he's not bringing that deer to the taxidermist, because that would have cost a lot of extra money to get patched up. Next up, you're going to join myself on my first hunt in Wisconsin.
Well, the season begins right now, guys. It's 2013, first time out for the year. I'm psyched. I got all my stuff ready. It's actually not opening day, it's the second day, it's Sunday. I decided to hang stands and get more situated in Illinois. We finally got the much needed rain that we've been calling for, so it's time to slip out there and see what happens tonight. First couple times you get out in the season, man, you gotta go through a mental checklist to make sure you got all your gear. So it's taking me a little bit longer to get ready than usual, but I think I got all my stuff. It's time to head out. Let's see what happens tonight. My approach wasn't too good. I got a doe bedded right here. I gotta come up with a different plan here. Well, it's officially game on, that's for sure. Day 2 of the Wisconsin opener. First time out for me, first time I've knocked an arrow this year, so let's see what happens. Spooked one small doe when I came in. I had another doe bedded down behind me. There's not much you can do, but the wind's out of the northeast. Just going right over my shoulder here, hoping the deer come from basically in front of me, come through this little pinch here, or come out in the corn. So if they do, the Matthews is ready. I've been practicing, so let's see what happens. Well, that's going to end my first hunt in Wisconsin. You can't beat that. I mean, that was 11 different does, one small buck, so that's a great way to get started as far as I'm concerned. never fails. Put the camera away and they always seem to show up. Now that's an opening day. Bow hunt or die.
You know, it never fails. It seems like every time Todd goes out in the woods, he's got bucks near him. Now granted, that wasn't the biggest buck out there, but that was a nice deer for opening day. Seems like Todd's just a buck magnet and they tend to gravitate to wherever he's at, which gives me a good idea. I should probably follow Todd around this fall and hopefully pick up some of those smaller deer that he's not gonna shoot. Now next up, we're actually gonna get a update from Todd on the #1 hit list buck, Moose, that he was hoping to chase this fall. You may have seen him in the last episode, and we got an unfortunate update for you, so let's check it out.
Okay, we're recording this before we get out of the car. Got a phone call from a friend of mine, and he found one of the hit list bucks that we were chasing. So just in case the Department of Natural Resources were to show up, I'm filming this before we even get out of the car. Take a look at this deer. We're not going to take him. We're not going to touch him. We're just going to film our interview. And then tomorrow, my friend's going to go ahead and call the Department of Natural Resources, get a tag, and then we're going to come back for him. Guys, it's always a venture while you're bow hunting. You know what? This stinks. This was one of my hit list bucks. We literally just announced them. I got a phone call from my friend who owns the property, and we were out checking some trail cameras to see the status of what our different deer were doing. Unfortunately, this was the deer that we called Moose. We're not sure if he got hit by a car, EHD, who knows what. He's a gorgeous animal. We're gonna call the conservation department tomorrow and get ourselves a tag for this deer. We're not touching him. We're leaving him right here. But there he is, guys. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but there is the deer that I wanted to chase this fall, the buck named Moose. And unfortunately, he just started to shed. He's a beautiful deer. Smells absolutely terrible right now. But just look at this here, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 points. Just an absolute beautiful, giant deer. Who knows what happened to him? It's enough to make you sick, but well, I guess we at least were able to find him, so let's get a tag for him tomorrow and leave him alone, but that stinks. That's a hell of a deer.
Man, that's really unfortunate. I know Todd was looking forward to chasing that deer around this fall, but unfortunately, you know, Mother Nature can be cruel sometimes, and EHD is a simple fact of life in the whitetail woods. Now, next up, we're going to run to Wisconsin with me and Tom Alford for opening day, and let's see how we do.
Alright, it is bow hunt or die time. It's September 13th. The opening day for Wisconsin archery is tomorrow. Justin and I are heading up to Wisconsin. We're going to stop at Gander Mountain, pick up our tags, and we will be sitting in a tree stand tomorrow morning. Hopefully the action begins. We put something down. Bow hunt or die.
Should we shoot up some Killzone Maxes? We'll cut them in half for that. That's all you need right here, baby. Killzone trophy tip, 2-inch. Beagle. See that right there, folks? 2013 Wisconsin archery tag. I'm sorry to the residents of Wisconsin, but us people from Illinois are going to come up here and shoot all of your deer. I apologize in advance. So let's get to it. Finish fueling up, grab some food, get to bed. Go hunt or die.
Alright, it's opening morning. It's like 4:15 in the morning.
It's not, it's 4:46, so we can see the clock right.
Alright, it's like 4:46 in the morning. Opening day. We are dressed and ready to roll. About ready to walk out. I gotta put my face paint on. I don't know what you think I should go Ram.
Whatever you want, Brian.
Ram.
Whatever you want.
Oh, it feels good. Muy importante.
Let's do this. Let's get it done.
Well, friends, it is opening morning Wisconsin archery season. We got in the stand about an hour ago, and we think we've already had a few deer kind of skirting by us. We're about 100 yards from a pretty good bedding area, so we're gonna sit tight. Hopefully the deer start moving, or keep moving. So, Bowhunt or die. That's gonna wrap up the opening morning hunt. Definitely a good morning. We had 4 bucks pretty much within 50 yards. One at about 30, 2 2-year-olds, and then a couple year and a half olds. But it's a good morning. So we're gonna get back after it this afternoon. Justin's up to bat, and if deer come by, I'm actually gonna scare him away because he scared all my deer away. Bowhunter die, baby.
And that's it, we're done. War paint is on. Hat will be on soon. We're ready to go. Bowhunter die, Wisconsin opening day, afternoon hunt. Hop in the gator. Head out. Time to unleash the beast. The Pink Panther, she's called.
Alright, problem. In order to kill a deer, you need arrows. They're generally mounted like this. They're red. You shoot them. In case you can't see, I forgot mine in the truck, which is very far away. So, I'm on a mission. Good thing I brought water. So, barring a miracle, something happening in the next 10 minutes, day 1 is officially over. Time to go back to the house, fire up the can cooker, get some grub.
You know, it's always fun to come in the office on Monday morning and go talk to Brandon to find out what really happened on Justin and Tommy's hunts. You know what? I didn't hear anything about forgot arrows or couldn't work the camera, but you know what? When you're able to go talk to Brandon, you're able to get the real details. It's always entertaining. Now, next up, we're going to see Dean and Trevor with some hitless bucks.
Hey guys, I'm Trevor Olson. I've been on the Bowhunting.com team now. This will be my 2nd year. Last year I did not kill a deer, but this year we hope to change that. I work at Scott Industries, which we do chrome bar plating. I run that job every week, and I also have my own side photography job. And I've been doing weddings and family shoots, senior photo shoots, stuff like that. So it's been a pretty busy summer, but now that we're starting to get into the swing of things, I've been checking the cameras pretty regularly, checking your stands, got the Creed out, been shooting that. But now that we're getting closer to season, I just can't wait for the season to get here. Hopefully the temps cool down a little bit and start getting warm again. But, well, I have a couple different properties that I'm going to hunt this year. I've got the home farm, and then I have another farm that I have permission on. On the home farm, I have a buck I call Stubbs. He's a wide 11 pointer, and I'm calling him Stubbs for a couple different reasons. He's got short tines as of last year because I had an encounter with him, and then he also has a bum foot, like his hoof is curled. So I've also got a crab claw 10 pointer that I had a couple encounters with later in the season last year before the snow flew. I'm calling him Rockstar. It just seems like he'd be an amazing deer, and I really would like to kill a crab claw buck. I've also got another buck that I had a couple encounters with. I've got some video of him, some pictures of him, I believe. I named him Rookie, and he's a perfect 10 pointer, just a really small frame. Last year, but I believe he's just 2 years old. This year I'm hoping he exploded. Another deer that I had one video clip of, and it's a big 10 pointer, and I'm naming him Ghost just because the video clip on the stealth cam of this buck, the way it's kind of dark and you can hear he's scraping, and then he turns to the camera and you just start seeing tines, and it just amazed me. So that deer's a ghost, and he's haunting my dreams. I have another buck that I had a couple pictures of last year over my wildlife pond, and he was hanging with another deer that I'm calling Gypsy. The tall tined 8-pointer is called Gypsy, and the 6x4, he's got split brow tines. What other thing to name him but split brow? Last year I had an encounter with, I believe it was a 2-year-old buck, and he was just a 9-pointer. He had that split G2, and he actually ran over the decoy. That was pretty cool encounter. That deer was shot during the first day or the first weekend of our gun season up here. So that deer would have been amazing, but you know, that's hunting. On the other farm I have a really wide 8-pointer, and I have gotten so many pictures of this deer as of late. We decided to name him Boomerang just because he keeps coming back. A lot of nighttime pictures now, and that's generally the characteristics of this property. I get a lot of evening shots. That's about a wrap for me. Good luck to everybody out there. I want to give you guys a little heads up that I've been regularly on the forum lately on the video and photography section. So if you have any questions with the video stuff, photo stuff, Jay-Z and some of our team members, we're on the forum pretty regularly, as well as I. So stop by, ask a question. If you guys are self-filming, we'd be happy to answer it. Till next time, Bowhunt or die.
Hey everyone, I hope everybody's had a great summer like I have. The kids have been keeping me busy, that's for sure. We've been busy with t-ball and softball, and now they're in soccer. So between the practices and the games, it's been one busy summer, that is for sure. I have managed to find some time to get some cameras out and trying to get a hit list set up for the fall here. And also had a chance to get a couple tree stands up this last weekend, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit behind, but we'll get it done. We'll see what we can do with the time we have. Been practicing, that's for sure. You know, with the Creed, I got that all dialed in. I did actually just work on my new Maximum Reds this year. I just put the Quick Fletch on last night, so there too. Now that I got those all set up and ready to rock, I'm going to have to practice a little bit and make sure that if I have to make any adjustments in my sights, I can get that done right away too. As far as hit list goes this year, the pictures have been few and far between. Don't have anything really too big except for the one. You may recognize this buck. It's the buck we call Bentley. My daughter and I found this shed earlier this spring. Then my son and I found this one on that day I found shot my first turkey this spring. So he is definitely on the hit list. He got a 9th point now. It's got a G4 on that side. So with any luck, we're gonna get a chance at this guy this year. Those bucks, you know, they're It's early September here now. It's September 3rd, and some of them bucks are coming out of velvet. So with any luck, their range is going to change a little bit, and we'll get a couple more on the hit list before the season opens up here. If not, all we can do is put our time in, and with any luck, we can put one down. So that's about it for now. With any luck, maybe in a couple weeks here, you'll see me again, and we're going to make these maximum reds exactly what they should be. Maximum red, red all the way up to the knock. So good luck out there, and as always, be safe.
Well guys, as always, we want to take the time to thank the people who sent in their photos for this week's show. Now remember, if you want to send us one of your trophy photos, you can do it on bowhunting.com, on our Facebook page, or on our Twitter page, or email us direct, info@bowhunting.com.
Thomas Bolden,
Woodrow Polston,
Chris Stewart,
and Ryan Bowling.
Thanks again for sending us those trophy photos. There's nothing more that I enjoy than opening up my email and seeing those different bucks. Now, with that being said, Justin, before this show ends, I think it's always critical to give guys some pointers. What are you focusing on if you were going to go hunt next week?
Well, early in the season, generally you've got warmer temperatures, which means more perspiration, more odor. Right. So one thing that I'm really going to focus on early in the year is scent control. For me, that boils down to kind of two different things. It all starts with, showering, in the B-Tech, soap, the shampoo. I use that stuff every day, actually, instead of just using it on the weekends before I go hunting.
Me too.
That way I'm not getting those perfumes from the standard body wash permeated into my skin. From mid-September through the end of the year, I'm scent-free 100%. So obviously, showering, spraying down, and then the second thing we're doing is using that new scent blocker, Trinity clothing. There's a lot of, controversy surrounding the old activated carbon technology out there. What I think is cool is that Scent Blocker came out with a brand new technology called Trinity. It's a synthetic polymer that's actually impregnated into the clothing, very similar to activated carbon, but it actually is able to absorb more odor than carbon and actually be able to be regenerated at lower temperatures in your household dryer. So, what I like to tell guys is it's not always about the hunt that you're on today and the deer that you may be hunting today, but a lot of it is about the scent that you're leaving behind as you go in and out of the woods. It's a long season. A lot of us are going to be hunting those same stands come October and November. The last thing we want to do is alert deer to our presence in September and have them, change their movement. So scent control is huge for me. Todd, what about you? I know you're going hunting tonight. Where are you going to be focusing your efforts?
I'm going to stick with food. You know what? It's early season. I just don't see any value in going back into bedding areas and busting deer out. I don't like doing that in the early season, Justin. So for me, I like the edges. The other bonus, guys, is you get yourself into the woods. You've got that canopy above your head. You're losing a half an hour of light, and I'm telling you, the trail cameras don't lie. I've hunted for many, many years, and I'm telling you right now, most of the photos you always get at this time of the year of deer out in feeding areas is generally the fact that it's near the end of the light. And I'm telling you, you get back in the woods, you've taken 30 minutes off of your hunt, guaranteed. So
yeah, we made the mistake of hunting in the woods on Saturday night, opening day, and we literally, out of camera light, climbed down, got to the top of the field edge, and it was like bright daylight. We probably could have still hunted. So I definitely agree with that.
Huge mistake. So don't do that. Now, if it's a morning hunt, that's different because obviously the sun's on the rise. You've got more time. If you're able to get into a little feeding area, an oak flat or something like that, that they pass through to get to a bedding area, which is what I'm going to be doing on Friday morning. So that's kind of my plan. For tonight, I'm going with an open field, corn. Tomorrow evening, I'm going to go right to an oak flat that they pass through to get to a bedding area, and then I'm going back to food. I'm staying out of bedding areas.
Awesome. Well, there you go. For those of you lucky enough to be hunting early season, we wish you the best of luck. Make sure you're always wearing your hunter safety system. Don't want anybody falling out of a tree. And I guess we'll see you back here next week and every week from now until January, weekly episodes of Bowhunt or Die.
In the meantime, don't forget to check out facebook.com/bowhunting for daily updates, news, photos, and other exciting information. We want to hear your opinions and your stories, so join us now and like us on Facebook.
As a bow hunter, there's nothing better than watching that lighted knock fly through the air. But that was a nice deer that he had come in at last light. Not quite the deers, Todd. Not quite the deers. There's something about Todd that the deer seem to love. The bucks just go by him. I need to hunt closer to Todd. It never fails. It seems like every time every Todd goes out. Every Todd goes out.